All right, shalom, shalom. Now, before I get started with this lesson, I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah, Bahasham Chakwadash. Give a double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And peace, love, and salutations towards your hopeful elect that's been sincerely pushing this truth. I'm the brother Zakaria, again, coming to you from the GMS Campbell in the church. Now, we're going to start off, we're going to continue on, and that's Isaiah, the 13th chapter right here. So the last video, I started at verse 13 through 15. So within this video, I'm going to start at verse 16 through 19. So, of course, and again, Lord willing, this lesson be edifying. So this Isaiah 13, and starting at verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Now, in verse 16, all these things that I'm about to read is literally going to happen, all right, within our lifetime. And we can see these things happening because we see the rumors of wars. We hear about the rumors of wars, and we see war taking place over there with, Russia and Ukraine. And all these things just going to escalate, which, again, is a part of prophecy. And when you prophesy something, you basically bringing out an event that's about to take place before it actually takes place through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, that the whole world inwardly call God in Jesus Christ. So in this case, we can clearly see these things going on. Don't forget about Venezuela, man. All right, do some research on Venezuela. They're still going through it. At one point in time, the woman over there was actually selling their bots for food. So look into that. But continuing on in verse 16, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. Now, I know in the previous videos, in the previous lessons, I mentioned that 7 women shall take hold of 1 man, which we're going to get right quick. This is Isaiah 4:1. It reads, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of 1 man. Now, when it says 7 women, it could be 7 women, or you could have 1,000 women. But we all know when it says 7 women, that's just a complete number, because you can end up with 3,000 women. Who knows? But whatever the Lord sees fit, that's up for your lot. All right. But it says, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of 1 man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Now, why is that? Okay. What will make a woman so humble in that day for her to do all these things? Or should I say woman? Okay, plural. Now, what will make the woman, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American woman, just humble up like that and to do exactly that? It's gonna be all hell breaking loose out here, man. And this is basically what Isaiah 13 is going into. Judgment. All right. All hell being broken loose, and the day of the only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah, return. Okay. Which he soon's gonna return. We see these prophecies coming to pass. Hey, man, the Lord is coming back. Call on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. All right. But he's coming back, man. And these things are actually gonna take place. A lot of you women are gonna be humbled. That's why 7 women shall take hold of 1 man, because it's going to be all hell breaking loose. And when it mentions women shall be ravished, when you go into that word ravish, it's a form of rape. So let me do this faster. Isaiah 13, straight to the point. This Isaiah 13:15. Every one that is found shall be thrust through. It's like I didn't start there. Verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. Okay, let's get that word ravished right quick. And it means to violate, ravish, and then it says to be ravished, all right. When someone feels as if they're being violated in any way, it's a form of you being took in a way. Okay. So a lot of women in that day, and you're going to hear the screams of these women. You're going to hear a woman, getting raped. It sounds harsh. I get it. It may not sound pleasing to a viewer ear, but that's just the truth. It's going to happen like that. It's going to be a woman getting ravished. It's going to be a woman getting raped. In other words, there's going to be woman helping men of the Lord, and there's going to be woman trying to betray men of the Lord. This is a story, man, that we're living in. So any scenario can happen. We just pray and hope that we can escape the judgment and be a part of the hopeful elect through and under Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? But continuing on, it says in verse 16, their children also should be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. Now, what do that sound like? Let's get it right quick. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 15. Give me 1 second. Let me see where I can find it. This is 2nd Ezra 15, starting at verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. And shall not be able. Verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Now, the modern day sword, if you want to keep it to a certain level, would be like a handgun. But in all actual reality, that advanced sword would be the missile. Okay? But, just to keep things simple, what's a modern day sword? It's a gun. Okay? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they're not out here with swords. You don't see people out here walking around with swords in their hand and doing all types of, samurai combats, things towards that nature. So it's talking about the handgun, man. It says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, which people do today, man. You have a shootout or a drive-by, or you swing around a block, then spin back. You got a lot of you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans rap about this stuff, man, and it's filthy ass music. Okay, excuse me for my language, but continuing on, it reads, verse 15, Salakia. Matter of fact, going back to verse 19, then we'll go to 15. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. All right. And that's literal. That's the lack of working, making your shaquayim, making your money, and the lack of receiving this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as well. So it's going to be a famine of the word, and it's going to be an actual famine out here. A lot of you people won't be able to receive your daily bread, won't able to receive, food, things of such. Because what's going to have to play out in that day, according to prophecy? The C-HIP, the MOTB, which I went through, which I actually brought out in Revelation 13, the last video. Okay? So there's steps within certain steps that's got to just come to pass, man. And it's going to happen like that. So 2nd Ezra 15 and 19 again. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right. Great troubles in that day. You're going to have people, robbing each other, taking each other goods, raping each other wives, eating each other because of the lack of bread. The lack of getting something to eat, putting something on your stomach, feeding your sons and your daughters, all right? Feeding your wives, your brothers, whatever the case might be. If you want to be stable in that day, the only way to be stable is through the Lord, which the whole world ignorantly called God is Jesus Christ. His true name is Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, okay? So going back to that Isaiah 13, it reads, in verse 17. It reads, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it, which represents Russia. You know, if you look up an ancient map and look up the Medes, you know, they're in the landmass of Russia right now. And Russia plays a big part of prophecy too, concerning, you know, them going against America and actually sending missiles over here. Hey, all this is a part of prophecy, man, which I also went through in the last video too, and the video previous to that. Okay, so it says, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it, because the job is going to get done, which is the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. No matter how much money you have, no matter how much goods you have, how much you know, etc. Remember, all these other nations are mad, and all the smaller nations were made strong in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Remember, according to Romans the 13th chapter, everything was ordained by our Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So all these things just got to play out how the way they play out, man. Okay? But continuing on, in Isaiah 13, it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. And it says against. If you against somebody, that's an opposing opponent or opposing team. When you're against somebody, you're looking for some type of war or fight or blood. That's not always a good thing. So Russia's looking at America like, man, look, we're against you and we're after you. That's why this place is called Babylon the Great. And that's why also the scriptures represent this place of being a virgin. All right. In other words, this place that's never got touched with war or anything like that. Okay. It's roughly paraphrasing everything. But this is verse 17 again. It reads, behold, I will stir up the Medes or the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Verse 18, their bows also shall dash the young man to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Okay? And yes, they ain't going to give a damn about who's over here and who's over there. Okay? War is war. So they're going to send those, when it talks about those bows, hey, they're going to send those arrows. They're going to take that bow and shoot that arrow over here, man. And I'm speaking metaphorically. Okay? In other words, they're going to flip that little hatch open and hit that red button and send those missiles over here, man. They don't care who's over here. They don't care if you got your great grandmother over here. They don't care if you got your newborn kid over here. They don't care. Nobody does. Because that's the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Okay? Now, it might sound horrible. It might sound harsh. Might sound a little crazy, but that's the truth. And the truth is the truth, whether you people believe it or not. Okay? But it said, their bows also shall dash the young man to pieces. Okay? And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And that's for those troops that's going to come over here too. Because remember, there's going to be another shutdown, another pandemic 2.0, where everything's going to be shut down and all hell's going to be out here in these streets. Jacob's trouble. You're going to see military out here, foreign military out here, tanks, all types of military vehicles. All right. The only person or power, I should say, that's going to be able to help you is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And I'm going to keep saying it because that's just the absolute truth. Your modern day sword, your handguns, your grenades, your rocket launcher, whatever you have, man, it's not going to give you or get you to the kingdom of heaven. All right. The only power that can give you the kingdom of heaven and that can get you to the kingdom of heaven is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Okay. And you got to believe in him first and foremost and fear him. All right. But continuing on in verse 18. It reads, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, that I shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And how did he do that? He did it through fire and brimstone. But in this case, in today's society, in our lifetime, it's still going to be fire and brimstone, but it's going to be through those ICBM missiles, man. All right? It's going to be through those nukes. Okay? And I already went through certain precepts to prove, and that indicates that these same missiles that are being brought out that I'm speaking of is in the scripts, man. Of course. All right? They're all located in the Bible that a lot of people just don't want to believe and don't want to actually, associate themselves with or get into it. Because everybody think this is so-called white man's book. Everybody think, that the Bible isn't real. But at the same time, majority of the people been, deceived. Even us. All right? That's why we had to be made a new creature and leave that old man, because that old man been deceived. Okay? But that's pretty much all I had, on my spirit. Isaiah 13, 16 through 19. And for the next video, Lord willing, I start at verse 20 and close it out at verse 22. So I'm going to close up and give her all honor, glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham, Chakwadash. Double honors. Excuse me. Double honors to my apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutations to your hopeful elect that's been pushing the truth. All right. And with that, shalom.